Well, hello guys and welcome. My name is Firehearts2K and welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls 2. So for people who do not know what Dark Souls 2 is, Dark Souls 2 is a very difficult, challenging, and very unforgiving third-person action-based role-playing game by the developer From Software, who also created the entire Dark Souls franchise, Dark Souls 1, and also Demon Souls, I believe. So Dark Souls 2 focuses its gameplay on very tactical and challenging mechanics, and that is the way it makes itself fun, and that's the big draw about this game. Dark Souls 2, because it's so challenging, a lot of people like to play it, including myself, to try to beat its challenging mechanics and very, very difficult enemies. And I bought this game when it came out on Steam a couple months ago, and I beat it very quickly because I really liked it. I sunk like 50 hours into it very quickly. And I put it down for a little while, and then I went, I want to play this again, so let's put this on YouTube. So, now for people who are veterans of this series and are, and you're looking for very in-depth tips and tricks and how to be really, really awesome at Dark Souls, this is not going to be the Let's Play series for you. I consider myself average at best at the Dark Souls games, Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, and I will be providing, lots of helpful tips and tricks as much as I can, and I'll be talking about certain game mechanics so new people who want to play this game can understand. I'm going to be going out for the first couple of videos, assuming that most people are watching the video or watching the series have not played a lot of Dark Souls and they really want information on it. So I'll be talking about like hidden areas, certain things you can do, and certain things you shouldn't do in the beginning of the game. But yeah, so, and also we're going to be, for the entirety of this Let's Play, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing the whole base game. So I'm going to be playing the whole game, and then I will actually be playing all of Dark Souls 2's DLC, which I just recently purchased, actually 2 days ago. I haven't even played it yet, so that part of this Let's Play is going to be blind, because I haven't played that yet. But I'm going to be playing Dark Souls 2's 3 DLC, the Sunken Crown King, the Old Iron King, and also the Ivory King DLCs, which I've heard are very fun and I'm very excited to get to. And then, once I'm all done with those, I'm going to be doing New Game Plus, which is essentially where I get to take my character from my first game that I've played through, keep all of his weapons and armor and his stats, play the game all over again, but on a much harder and challenging difficulty. So the game that's already difficult gets even harder. It's going to be a blast, and I'm very excited to be doing it with you guys. Alright, now before we get into the game, there is going to be an in-game cutscene, folks. Now, even though I did turn my volume down, for some reason it did not affect the in-game cinematic cutscenes volume, so please turn down the video's volume to about maybe half or a quarter of what it is of maximum for right now, otherwise your ears are going to get blown off. You have been warned. Alright, let's get into Dark Souls 2, guys. Hope you will enjoy this series.
Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten land. A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything once branded. The symbol of the curse. An augur of darkness. Your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drang Lake. Perhaps you're familiar. No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why. Like a moth drawn to a flame, your wings will burn in anguish, time after time. For that is your fate, the fate of the cursed.
Alright, I have to say, even watching that a second time, because this is my second time playing this game, that cutscene never ceases to amaze me. It's a really, really well rendered and well done cutscene. I still don't completely understand exactly all the events that transpire in it, but it's still kind of cool. Alright, so here is where you start off, guys. You start off in this really weird limbo place called the Things Betwixt, and this is just my character getting up. I'll explain exactly what I think happens in the beginning of the game, because it's kind of difficult to understand. So, one thing I think... So basically, your character in the beginning of the game has been cursed for some reason. The game doesn't really explain why. And because of that curse, you are turned into this creature called a hollow, where you essentially are an undead that feasts upon the souls of other creatures, okay? So essentially right now I'm not human, I've forgotten my identity, and I have no name. Now this is a very nice starting section, or this is a very nice way to start a role-playing game, because it's basically like pulling the amnesia card, because since my character doesn't know who he is, you can notice if I go over here to the stats, and I'm level 1 with basically no unique things about my character, and that's because I don't know who I am. And this makes it very easy for you to create a character and things like that. So you'll see that in a little bit. So Dark Souls 2, for one, looks beautiful. Unlike its predecessor, Dark Souls 1, which had a really rocky and frankly pretty bad port to the computer from the consoles, Dark Souls 2, it runs so smoothly and it looks beautiful on the PC. So if you're looking for a very, very good looking action-based role-playing game, Dark Souls 2 should satisfy those needs. Alright, so the game will tell you basic controls, but it actually kind of doesn't really tell you. Well, the game will tell you like what the basic controls are and things like that, but they're written on these little tombstones throughout the map. So I'm just going to talk about those really quick. So I'm actually playing this game with a PS3 controller. So for me, you can dodge, basically, and then you have two weapon slots. You have a right weapon slot, and then you have a left weapon slot. And the way it works is that you hit for the controller anyway, you hit the R1 button and then the L1 buttons to use each of your weapons in each hand. So it's kind of like almost your R1 and your L1 buttons are extensions of your hand. Alright, so, but I will talk about more of the game mechanics once I actually get my class and things like that. So first off, I'm going to come up to this area, and you guys will notice that there's some noises going on, and right here there are these little demon kind of doggy things. Now these guys will not attack you, even though you may think they will. You can try to fight them right from the start here, because anything you kill in Dark Souls 2 gives you souls, and that is the very unique thing about this game, because by gaining souls, you can use those souls to buy equipment, weapons, and items, but also level up your character. So basically, souls are your lifeblood. But the caveat is that in Dark Souls 2, if you die, you lose all of your souls that you're currently carrying, and you get one chance to get them. But if you die again before retrieving your souls from where you died, then you lose all those souls permanently, that's the main big difficult draw to this game. Alright, so I'm going to go over here to the right and pick up this item. So there's a rusted coin here. Now, to be actually funny, so rusted coins, they temporarily boost luck, which is a stat. I don't really use them that much, but you can use them. I'm just going to show you all the basic locations of the starting items and the things with Twix. There's going to be, you can go over there and get that rusted coin, and then after that, I'm actually going to go up through this section here, and you guys will see this hut. Now, you may be inclined to just run over to this hut, but do not do that yet, because if you notice in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a piece of loot down there. Loot is marked on the map, is marked around you by that little white glowing thing that you can see there. And usually it'll be attached to corpses and things like that. So just go down here under the waterfall and pick up a small and smooth silky stone. And you'll be able to use this stone later in actually this area. But I'm going to show you that most likely in the next video once we get to that. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the basically this really old and decrepit hut, and another cutscene is going to fire, but the volume should be fixed in this cutscene from my understanding. So you guys won't have to worry about your ears being completely ravaged by high audio.
What seems to be the ruckus?
Oh my, your face. The face of the curse.
It's an undead. An undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you. You spoke to that kind old dear, didn't you?
You're finished. You'll go hollow.
I already am hollow,
Yes.
you crazy bat.
You'll become one of them.
Hollows prey upon men, feast upon their souls. This is the fate of the cursed.
What is your name?
Okay, so right here is where we get into the character creator. Now, I will be talking about the story of Dark Souls 2 after I'm done creating my character, but we'll get to that later. There's not really much to the story of Dark Souls, so it won't take me that long. So I'm going to name my character Kareth. It's a name I always have liked, and I used it in a previous Let's Play I did at one point. I am going to use my mouse for this quick minute, because for some reason there's no like keypad, so the game automatically assumes that you have to use a keyboard to use it. There's no like little...
At
Anyway.
least you know your own name.
Oh, thank you, creepy old lady. I'm glad I do too.
Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy.
Take a closer look.
Who do you think it's supposed to be?
Think back, deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
Okay, so this is where we actually get to create my character. Now, luckily, I'm not actually going to spend too much time on my character, because in Dark Souls 2, what usually happens is that pretty early in the game, depending on your class, this doesn't apply to every, or depending on your playstyle, this doesn't apply to every playstyle, you will usually just get a helmet and then attach it to your character, and you will never see your character's face again. So the character creator in Dark Souls, even though you can't really make very like awesome looking characters in it, and there is like a lot of stuff you can do, like you can see here they have all these different settings you can do. It's not really worth your time unless you're really into character creator stuff to spend all this time making a character, because you're inevitably just going to put a helmet over his face. Okay, so let's go in here and I'll show you the character creator for a little bit, and then we'll get this on the road. So first things first, you can pick your class. Now, in Dark Souls 2, you are not restricted by the class you pick in this character creation screen, so don't worry too much about the class you pick. Basically, whatever class you pick, it's going to give you your starting items and weapons. So for instance, the warrior, you can see over here, is going to give me... can I go up? Oh, it won't let me go up, but basically it's going to give me a sword, a shield, and then some basic armor. You know, you can see it on the screen. And also, whatever class you pick, it also determines your starting stats, okay? Now, you can see how that might be important a little bit, because say you want to be a nut, you know, you want to be like a really tanky dude with heavy armor, swords, and shields. Your best bet is that you're probably going to want to go with a warrior, a knight, or a cleric of some kind. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. But like I said, it doesn't really matter that much because Dark Souls 2's system is progression system is very unlinear, and you spend souls to upgrade stats however you choose, and there's no like class-specific skills. As long as you have the stats for whatever you want to do, you can do it. So Dark Souls 2, and that's one of the strengths of this game, is that you can pretty much build your character however you want. You can be a sorcerer that also wields heavy armor. So we have the warrior. Then there's the knight, which is the class I'm going to play. The knight has a lot of high HP and adaptability. Adaptability basically is going to increase my resistances. You guys can see here, it's going to boost my survival, it boosts agility and various resistances, so it'll make me a little bit faster. There's the swordsman, which, if you pick the swordsman, you start out with 2 weapons, which is kind of cool. I have played swordsman class before. It's very fun. If you like dual wielding and you're okay with being a little bit on the weaker side, but being really quick, swordsman is always really fun. Bandit, I've never played, but you know, bandit is pretty fun. You get high dexterity, you're good with bows, and you can fight pretty much, you're an all-around decent fighter. You can use a lot of different weapons, like you start with an axe and a bow and some decent armor. Cleric is pretty good as well. With the cleric, you start out as a mace, which is very good against early game enemies because not very many enemies in Dark Souls 2 in the early game have resistance against blunt weapon damage. There's different types of There's different types of weapon damages in this game, and enemies have different resistance levels to certain things. Like some enemies may be really resistant against like piercing weapons like spears, but then they might be really weak against slashing weapons like swords. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then the cleric also gets the ability to start to heal himself immediately. So if you want to be a type of a healer class with using that uses a lot of miracles but also can use some decent weapons, clerics is pretty good. You can be a sorcerer, which is pretty self-explanatory. You get to use magic, essentially. Explorer, I can't really tell you too much about the Explorer, except that you get a dagger, you get this little, like, merchant outfit, which looks kind of cool, and then you get a bunch of starting items. I guess that's the one big thing that a lot of people like the Explorer for, is because you get a lot of cool starting items. And then Deprived, which is for the people who really want to just go all out in this game and go hardcore. You basically start with nothing. You get 6 stats across the board, and you stay at level 1, so you're very weak. Because if you pick any other class, you can see here, your level actually goes up. Because right now I'm level 1, but if I pick any of these other classes besides Deprived, my level goes up. But with Deprived, you are very weak and you can barely do anything. So do not play Deprived unless you are sure you are ready to have a really bad time in this game, or you're very good at this game. If you are a new player to this game, I would highly suggest that you start out as a warrior, a knight, or a cleric. Both of these classes have a lot of high survivability and have decent weapons and stats starting out. If you're okay with dodging in this game and you want to just do a lot of damage, swordsman is good as well. Alright, but like I said, I'm going to be picking the knight, so let's do that. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at gifts. So gifts are a starting item, or a starting set of items that you can get. Now I can only pick one of these, and I'll go over each of these. So basically, you can pick any one of these, and whichever one you pick will give you a special item at the beginning of the game. So if I pick Life Ring, I get a ring that increases my HP a little bit. Life Ring is not bad. I used to get that in the beginning of my first playthrough, but I found that as I got better at the game, it became less necessary. It's not that bad. If you think you're going to get hit a lot and you want a little bit of extra HP for survivability, go for it. Human effigies. Human effigies are good as well. Now, I believe you only get 1 human effigy, but what this does is that whenever you die in Dark Souls 2, like I said, you lose all your souls, and then wherever you died, your souls are dropped there, and you have to go pick them up. But also, when you die, you be turned into a hollow, an undead, and you lose a certain percentage of your health until you restore your humanity. And the way you restore your humanity is that you have to use a human effigy on yourself. So, you can see why some people would pick a human effigy. Also, another thing is, unlike the Life Ring, If you think you're going to get hurt a lot, you can always go for healing wares, which is going to give you a bunch of healing items and also a poison curative item. You can get Homeward Bone, which this is an item that you can use to, when you use it, you can use it anywhere on the map and return to a save point location, which will be in a safe area. Seed of the Tree of Giants. I actually can't talk about this hilariously enough because I've actually never used the Seed of the Tree of Giants. Yeah, so we're going to skip that. Bonfire Aesthetic. Bonfire Aesthetics should only really be used for people who are really good at this game, who want a harder start but more rewards. So if you throw this into a checkpoint area, which is called a bonfire, all the enemies in the area around the bonfire actually get stronger and give you more rewards in turn. So don't get the Bonfire Aesthetic unless you feel like you're pretty good at the game and you feel perfectly comfortable with fighting higher level enemies in the beginning. And then you can get a Petrified Something, which actually is used for, you can give it to a certain location and get a really nice reward in return. Now the reward you get is randomized, but usually the reward is a pretty high value. It's the same place where I'm going to be using the smooth and silky stone I got below the waterfall. That's actually what I'm going to be starting with first. Alright, so now that I'm done with that, I'm going to make a few minor edits to the game, or to my character. I'd like to change my build usually to this medium level. Now physique doesn't really do that much, it just kind of gives you extra muscles. It's not even that noticeable, to be perfectly honest, so we'll just leave it. Now, you can do Homeland, which is basically, it's going to give you basically a fate. Oh god, that's ugly. That's so, oh, Dark Souls 2 has such ugly characters. Ugh, okay. But I'm not really going to mess with that too much because I'm okay with the default face. There aren't very many hair options. There's some pretty funny ones, though. Like, that's a pretty good one. I really should use that one, but I'm not going to. Oh, man. And then let's go with, so let's go with brown hair with my character. And then for eye color, I kind of want to try something eccentric. Like maybe purple? Light purple, this purple would be way too much, I think. But if I went for like a darker shade of purple like that, that would be kind of cool. So yeah, I'm going to make a guy have purple eyes. Why not, you know? And then let's go to tattoo. And there's a number of cool different tattoos, but personally, the tattoo I like the most is this, which one? Oh, it's this one, yeah. So this one, which looks like it's kind of like two winged animals, and then a really cool design in the center. I've actually never been able to figure out what those creatures are, but that's okay. And I'm gonna make it the color red. I think that looks pretty cool. I like having a little tattoo on the side of my guy's face. And then in advanced settings, I'm gonna make one or two minor changes. I'm gonna change the facial, I'm gonna change the facial roundness to a little bit closer to sharp. That way my guy has less of a baby face. So maybe if we leave it about right here. You can make some really funky looking characters if you change the facial roundness too much. Okay, well, we'll leave it like that. That's fine. Like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time editing my character's face because I'm just going to cover it with a helmet pretty close into the beginning of the game. Alright, so let's finish this creation, and this is going to be my character.
All people come here for the same reason. To break the curse.
You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance.
Shut up, I stand a chance.
Well, you never know.
See, I like that old lady. But still, though, these old women are really creepy, I have to admit.
Go through the door and trot along to the kingdom.
But remember, hold on to your souls. They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
They're just a wee bit creepy. They're just some old ladies in a hut that just laugh at the idea of me dying. Oh, and I've gotten 3 keys. So these keys are actually the keys to unlock the 3 DLC pieces of content I just recently got. And I'll be using those later in the game once we get to those. Okay, so before we end this introductory video to my Dark Souls 2 Let's Play, I'm going to really briefly talk about the story of this game. So Dark Souls 2, and also pretty much all the Dark Souls games, are not very known for their story elements, but there is a little bit. So I cut myself off in the beginning, but basically you are... in this game, you're just this wandering traveler, essentially, that was cursed to become hollow, and then you jumped into that little worm, that kind of like whirlpool, either by choice or not by choice, I'm not really sure, but you jump in there, and then you were thrust into this decaying and like decrepit kingdom of Dranglek, that used to be this like really grand and apparently amazing kingdom, but now it's overrun with demons, hellspawn, undead, all manner of evil things. And essentially you're trying to go through it and survive, and then eventually you'll try to restore order to it by overthrowing the current evil powers in the realm, and then putting yourself on the, I guess the throne is the best way to put it. So it's a very weird plot. Anyway, so that's the story of the game. Alright, so guys, that's going to be it for this introductory video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and in the next part we'll get into some actual Dark Souls 2 gameplay, and I'll be showing around this introductory area and the things betwixt. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all again later.